They said the house was cursed, but Daniel Cross didn't care. He had nothing left to lose. Once a man full of ambition, Daniel had been broken by life. Failed businesses, betrayal, and a family that vanished when he needed them most. So when he inherited an ancient house from a dead uncle he barely remembered, he saw it as a final chance. A place to disappear, to start over, maybe even to find peace. He should have known better. The house was old, standing like a grave marker at the edge of a forgotten town. Vines choked its walls, windows cracked like spider webs. But something about it felt alive, watching, waiting. The first night, Daniel heard scratching in the walls. By the third, shadows began moving on their own. By the fifth night, he saw himself. Not a reflection. Him, standing at the foot of his bed, smiling. It vanished when he blinked, but the fear stayed. He dismissed it as exhaustion, the mind playing tricks. But then he discovered the journal. Buried in the attic beneath loose floorboards wrapped in dried leather. It belonged to Henry Cross, his great-grandfather. The first line read, "Period. The house feeds on weakness. It loves broken men." Daniel laughed it off. Then he read more. Henry wrote of whispers in the dark, clocks ticking backward, visions of a second self that mirrored his every move, and voices that begged him to destroy himself. His last entry chilled the air. Period. It feeds on fear. Starve it. Daniel tried, but the house escalated. He began waking up in strange rooms, clothes stained with blood he couldn't explain. Friends stopped answering his calls. His phone glitched, once playing a voicemail from his dead uncle. Static. And a whisper. Dot. Stay. He couldn't sleep. Mirrors lied. Faces appeared where they shouldn't. And the worst part, he started believing them. Then came the night he was attacked. Something unseen slammed him into a wall. His body froze. A cold grip clutched his throat. And a voice, deep and inhuman, spoke. "You belong to me now." Daniel broke. He nearly gave in. But in that moment of despair, rage ignited. He remembered Henry's words. Period. Starve it. The house didn't want him dead. It wanted him weak, frightened, a puppet. So Daniel made a choice. He stopped reacting. No matter what the house showed him, his worst memories, the screams of his dead mother, the face of the man who once beat him, he gave it nothing. He meditated, focused, took control of his thoughts. He turned his fear into a weapon. He studied the journal again, realized the house wasn't haunted. It was sentient. a predator that fed on human suffering. But Daniel wasn't prey anymore. He drew sigils from Henry's notes, set traps using mirrors and salt, created a battlefield inside the walls. And then he waited. The entity came one final time, as his father, holding a belt. The same man who once turned Daniel into a punching bag. But this time, Daniel didn't flinch. He looked it in the eyes and said, "You don't scare me anymore." The illusion shattered. The house screamed. Lights exploded. And for the first time, it felt afraid. The next morning, the house was silent. Daniel didn't run. He stayed. Months passed. He studied the house, took notes, turned it into a fortress of knowledge. Now he is not just a survivor. He is a force. A best-selling author, a speaker, a symbol of resilience for those battling demons of their own. Daniel Cross didn't just survive the house, he mastered it. Because sometimes, what tries to break a man only sharpens the blade he was always meant to become. If his story lit a fire inside you, don't just leave. Join the movement. Subscribe to Beyond Limits. Hit that bell icon and share this with someone fighting their own demons. Because on this channel, we don't run from the dark. We become the monster it fears.